Okay, looking at project due dates. Long-term projects will have assigned due dates. If a student has been on task throughout the provided workdays and cannot finish the project by the assigned date, the student and teacher can make arrangements for the student to finish the project without penalty. So what this means is, when we're working on a project, let's say we're going to start a project today and we're all going to finish the project for the most part on Friday. Monday we're going to be moving on to something new. But two students on Friday, they still have more work to do. So what this is telling you is that as long as you've been using your class time wisely, then you and I will just figure out when you are going to get the project finished. Usually artwork doesn't go home with students because it tends to come back and it's folded or torn or smudged or jammed in your locker. So I really try to keep your artwork at school and have you work on it here. Our first option would be Thursday during homeroom. This is hard for students to remember, but Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I am not available during homeroom because I have another class that I teach that is adaptive art. Thursday I am free and you are free because we don't have Tiger Time on Thursday usually. So that's a good opportunity for you to get some extra time. Friday I also am free, but usually Fridays are Tiger Time. So if it's a Friday you don't have Tiger Time, you're also welcome to come in on Friday. If homeroom time isn't enough, then we'll talk about before or after school, which I know sometimes can be challenging, but sometimes we do need to arrange that. So that's project due date. Sketchbook. Each student should have an 8.5 by 11 or 9 by 12 sketchbook. One sketchbook can be used throughout grades 6 through 8. So depending on what grade you are in, 6th grade especially, just save that sketchbook and you can use it in 7th grade and 8th grade. If you're in 8th grade and you are considering taking art into high school, keep that sketchbook because Mrs. Driscoll is not going to expect you to have a brand new sketchbook. You can have stuff in it and that will be perfectly fine. Okay? If you don't have a sketchbook, then go home and just politely, ask mom and dad if they can get you one. The ones with the spiral binding are a little bit better. They last longer than if it has the glued binding at the top. Sometimes after you open and close that so many times, the pages start to fall out. But if they start to fall out, that's no big deal. We can just put a clip on there. And then artwork return. Students may have a significant amount of artwork kept by Mrs. Bierman until after the district art show. This is to ensure that all students have work represented in the show. So what will happen is each project that you make will be displayed in the hallway. Every student's artwork is displayed. Every artwork by every student is displayed in the hallway. Okay, so then once those come down, I might decide on a couple that I'm going to keep for the art show. But for the most part, I don't figure out what is going to go in the art show until the end of the rotation. Because what I like to do is take the 3 or 4 pieces that every student has completed, so the 4 pieces that Haley has completed, and look at those and decide which is Haley's best piece. And then look at the 4 artworks that Mike completed and decide which is the best of his. So you are not going to get your artwork back until you're in your next rotation because it takes me a while to look through everything and decide and organize it. And then what you'll get back is your non-art show artwork, a certificate that says what you are going to have in the art show, and then I'll keep your art show piece. And after the art show is when you'll get your art show work back. Okay? So that's how that works. And we are just going to next talk about class policies and expectations.